Hello DM tribe, welcome back to my channel on Sewing with the Minaj Designs. So on this channel, I love to call you the DM tribe, which stands for the Minaj Designs tribe. So you're welcome to my channel. If you love fashion and you love sewing, you're in the right place. If you love making beautiful outfits, you're in the right place. So in today's tutorial, we are going to be learning how to draft a basic bodice block full scale. So in our previous tutorials, we have dealt with how to draft a basic bodice block half scale, and also in our subsequent tutorials, we are going to be learning how to sew both the basic bodice block half scale and the full scale basic bodice block. So if this is what you are interested in learning how to make, please do not snooze, stay glued, and I'll see you right in the tutorial. So if you are a returning subscriber, please, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for always stopping by and supporting us. If you're just joining us for the first time, please do well to like this tutorial, share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell in order to enable you get our videos whenever we post new videos for you to learn new sewing lessons. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive right into it. Bye. Hello Divinage tribe, welcome back to today's tutorial, and we'll be working on the basic bodice block, the full scale. We have drafted the details, the half scale block. So I have gone ahead, for the want of time, to replicate the same thing that we did in the half scale. Like, it's almost done. So I left this part of it to show you something. Okay, you know, when we were treating the half scale block, I connected a straight line here down, then I connected back to the bust line. So for the full scale, I want us to try something else, just to make you understand that there is no hard and fast route to doing anything. You can, you know, improvise at any time. Okay, so I'm just going to try to connect this straight with my curve from this point, meeting the 0.75 line that I came in by for the front bodice. So I'll connect it back again to this. So there is no hard and fast rule. So we should learn how to use our various curves. See, we still got the same thing. So I'm going to replicate that again on the back side. Instead of connecting and connecting, it's still the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay, it's the same thing. It's just that in a case whereby you don't want to start looking for the perfect place to place your curve, you just go ahead and do the straight matching to the point that you came in by the half-inch line or your 0.75 line, and you connect back. So I've gone ahead to draw in the dots. Exactly what we'll have here is the half scale. This is the front and this is the back. Already this is the half scale that we did from the previous classes. You know, I didn't want to, if I fix this thing back here, you will notice that it will fit in, yes, almost perfectly, excluding whatever it is that we removed from there. But I don't want to do that. I have to start all over again to explain something to you. And secondly, because now, very importantly, you know, when we were trying to make the half scale, we used the biggest part of the measurement. We always use the biggest part of the measurement to get this our box. Okay, but because this is a full scale, we are no longer going to be using the bust, which is the biggest part of the measurement, for the half scale. Okay, so we are going to be using the hip because now the top or the blouse is going to be accommodating the hip part, or at least to the upper hip, if not for any other place. Okay, so I did my hip divided by 2. I didn't bother adding anything because already it gives me a lot of room to do anything that I want to do. Okay, to give me a lot of space, because if the hip is 42 against a bust of 40, so you still have space to walk around any other thing, manipulation that you want to do. So if you feel the space you have for the box is not enough, you can also go ahead to add what you want to add. I hope this explanation beats whatever that you have. I can't wait for you guys to bombard me with a lot of questions, and I'll be here to answer you. Okay, but please, before you ask questions, just give it a try. Give it a try. Do something first before you ask questions. So I'm coming in by 50% tightening, just by coming in by 1/2 inch, and I'm going ahead to connect it back here. Okay, as usual. Okay, I'm really trying not to do a lot of repetitions. Okay, so my waist is 32, divided into 4 is 8. So if I add 1 inch for this dart that I've already taken in, the dart intake, making it 9. So I've marked this. So I'll do the same thing here, 9. I'll mark it as well. Okay, so I'll connect. Now this is exactly our half scale. Okay, this is our half scale. Now I won't forget to put in my dart intake. I won't forget to drop it here. Okay, and I'll connect back to the bust point. Okay, now the length of this top is about 24 inches. Okay, so I'll just rule it out now for you to see. The length of our blouse is 24 inches. Okay, so remember that we have a difference between the front and the back. Okay, so what that means is that our back length is going to be reduced by the exact thing that you're removing as your side dart intake. So in that case, our back length is going to be 22 inches as against the 24 inches, just the same way that we did for the half scale. So the same thing you replicate again to the full scale. Okay, so I've done that. The next thing that we're going to do is to extend our dart leg or our dart line. So I'll put the same 4 inches here, and I'll connect this down. Okay, I'll do the same thing for the back, and I'll connect it down. Now please note that when you're taking that for a full blouse, it should be 2 inches above the end of the length of the blouse. 2 inches above the length of the blouse. So in other words, we're not going to be taking these darts down, unless in cases where you want to cut this thing through and join it back. But this is a basic class, and that is not what we are doing for now. So you go 2 inches above, connect your dart leg down, and you connect it back down again. So I'll do the same thing for the back side. Again, I'll bring it down. Now remember our tightening, yeah? We're going to do the same thing. Okay, you can decide to exhaust it. You can decide to exhaust this and connect it back to these points, and you can also decide to do the same thing you did for the dart leg. Okay, so anyone you decide, but I think taking it to the 2 inches is most appropriate. So this is our tighten now. Okay, so if I were you, all these little tips, I'll be trying everything for myself and seeing what I will get. So the hip we are working with is 42 inches. 42 divided by 4. 42 divided by 4 will give us, this is my hack to calculation. For those of you that don't like maths, just divide your tip into 4 for whatever figure that you like. So it will give me 10.5. Okay, so which is exactly what we have. That was what we used in creating our box. So we're not removing anything or adding anything. So I'll just connect it straight down. Okay, and I'll do the same thing here again. I'll connect straight down. Okay, so you see that our full scale basic bodice is almost ready. All right, so this is something that you will want to do. So I'll come up by, let's say, 2 inches or 1.5. It's just for the swag, it's nothing serious. And also to aid your blouse to sit in properly. Okay, aids your blouse to sit in properly. So you're just going to come in with a curve and just come with a very sweet curve. So if you're taking this line, try to make sure that it doesn't extend into after this that line that you have already taken. Okay, so I'll do the same thing for the front, and our basic bodice block full scale is ready. Okay, so I can decide to number this and to label this now. This is the bust line or chest line. It's called chest line most appropriately. Chest line. Okay, this is the nipple line. There's the front waistline. There's the back waistline, and this is the top length. This is the top length. Look at how beautiful our block is. Look at how beautiful our block is. So I'm going to cut this thing out now, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, this is our tightening, our dart intake, our bust dart. So you know that all of this is going out, or is supposed to be taken out rather. Okay, so I'll cut it out now and show you what it looks like. I know some people are confused, asking how it is going to happen. Now let me talk about something. Most times when we open up our darts, we realize that we have excesses. So this is how I go about it. I try to like add a little here, so that by the time I cut out my dart, this place is not entirely looking rough, or I will not be having a shortage by that dart line. So this is an indication that there is a dart here, and when I close it up, it still sits properly. So I'll cut it out now and I'll explain further. Now, another importance of going up at the end of your pattern like this is also to not make your blouse sharp. Just imagine making a blouse and the tip is this straight. No, some people do it, but you can also try it, but this is more defined and it gives you that curvy shape and it sits well on the human figure. So now we're going to cut out. I intentionally want to show you this cutting out area because so that you can understand a little bit, and it will
lessen some people's doubts and difficulties. Remember that the length of the back is 22, not 24 like the front is. Okay, so now we are cutting out. Remember that we are cutting out this tightening, cutting out the tightening. It's one thing to make a good pattern, it's another thing to cut well. Then again, it is another thing to transfer it to your patterns appropriately, and then it is yet another thing to sew evenly, and it is another thing too to take accurate measurements while sewing. You will not leave an allowance of 1 inch, and when you are sewing you are taking 1.5, you will have a shortage. You will not leave an allowance of 1.5, and when you are sewing you're taking 1 inch, you have an excess. So you should take note of all of this when we are sewing and when we are creating our pattern, so that we can always achieve that perfect fit. Because the essence of pattern drafting is to minimize errors that some people make with freehand method. So you cannot be in a pattern class or be learning how to draft patterns and still be making mistakes that you shouldn't make. So I would advise that whenever you want to draft patterns or you want to make a dress or do anything that is fashion related, clear your head. If you have had a rough day, clear your head, try to concentrate, because fashion in itself is an art. So it is jealous, so you need to put in your best, or you need to be at your best while doing it, so that you get the perfect result. So this is how beautiful our pattern is. Okay, so this is the back, okay, block, basic bodice block. So this is a full scale, and this is the back. Okay, so there you go. So let's cut out the front now. Let's cut out the front. I'm not going to cut the main distance yet until I close my darts. Then I would adjust. See, I haven't cut out the main line because I haven't closed my dart, and I know that I will have an excess there. Okay, so sorry, I'll have to move these patterns to be able to cut comfortably, because I'm working on a really small space and table. So I hope you do understand. The most important thing is to know where to cut. So now that is what I'm showing you: the armhole, the neckline, and all of that. Twist. So now, I know some people are wondering, how are we going to make this front to match up. Okay, how are we going to make this front to match up? That is a normal question everybody will ask. So it's still the same thing we did for the basic bodice block half scale, but for the full scale is a little bit different, but almost the same thing. Remember that I told you that in order for you to close one dart, you have to open one. So that is exactly the same thing that we are going to do. It's very simple. So how are we going to achieve that? We're slashing through our dart line. You slash two, but not slash through. You're not going to take it out completely. Okay, now this is open for us, right? So now remember, when we're working on our half scale, I taught you a pattern of closing that. Now please, it's not compulsory that you use a masking tape. You can get a scotch tape, it's even better. I prefer, it's just I don't have one right now. The white transparent scotch tapes, they are easier and better to use. It has a dispenser too, so you can get that. I would advise that. Ignore the fact that I'm using this, but you can get a scotch tape. I taught you a way of closing that, and what I taught you was you pick like this and you close, or you pick like this and you close. But now I'm going to teach you something a little bit different. Okay, I'm going to teach you something a little bit different. So how about we try this? So I'm slashing to the points again. Okay, so this time around I am moving it. Sorry, something is holding my paper. Yeah, so I am moving this. I have moved it. That is closed. Okay, in order for you to close it, that you have to open. So welcome back, DM tribe. Welcome back. In the last class we tried to drop the full scale basic bodice block, and this is our beautiful pattern. You see how lovely it turned out, and I can't wait to see all of these beauties recreated by you, my dear DM tribe. I cannot just wait, and I can also wait for your questions, for those that will have questions, or for those that will not understand everything perfectly. Okay, so that being said, I wanted to emphasize on this tool. It's called the tracing wheel. We will, or we might not be needing it for this class, but it is important as a pattern drafter that you get this and make use of it. In the course of the class I might use it. It's used for tracing out patterns. We may or we might not use it. If need be that we use it in this class, fine, but just if you are going to be subscribing for our subsequent classes, just be rest assured that you will need it. So just get it. Get your cuffs too. I'll be able to introduce this to us all. Get your various cuffs, anyone that you can afford, just get and make use of it. You can get from any trusted vendor. I know of Rookie Lawal. You can also get online from Jumia and all the other vendors. So in the next video I'm going to be explaining this for you, this shortage that we have here. Remember that I intentionally did not cut out the main line. Now this is the excess that I left from the main line. Okay, this is the excess that I left. So I'll see you in the next one, and I'll explain something to you, how we can go about it to not have shortage on this pattern. All right. So welcome back there, soulmates. Remember that I told you that to open up a dart, you have to close a dart, you have to open up a new dart. And that was how we opened up the center dart for us to be able to close our bust dart that we have here. Now remember that when we were drafting this, I did not cut directly on this line. I created like a dart mark here to add to the measurement here, so that when we close this dart, we will not have shortage. So what this means is that whatever it is that I've added was not just enough. Now, because you're a beginner, I am trying to make you understand in details. If I were the one that was doing this, I wouldn't go through all this process. I already know what to do. When in the heart of my mind, I'll just create like an imaginary line here, connect it when I'm cutting on the pattern, and add my seam allowance to it and all, and everything still matches up. But because this is a beginner or a basic class, a basic so to say, so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get an extra paper. Okay, just something very little, not something serious. Okay, I'll get an extra paper, just the way you're seeing me do, just like this. Okay, I'll get this extra paper, I'll slide it underneath my pattern. I'll slide it underneath my pattern and I'll tape it down. I'll tape it down. So what I'm going to do next is just grab my straight rule and connect from this point where or a little bit from here, connect it back to the armhole line, just to get that definite shape and to ensure that whatever it is that I've lost from my dart intake, I have corrected it and I have put it back, so that I will not have shortage in my pattern. So this is necessary. Fashion is a beautiful thing. Okay, it even gets beautiful by the day as you practice a lot of things and you see yourself creating things that you never knew you could. So I have cut out this now. You see, this is what we would have lost if we did not do this. We would have lost a whole lot of this. So now we have tackled that. Now we have successfully drafted 2 patterns in this class. This is our full scale basic bodice block and also our half scale basic bodice block, and our patterns are all looking very beautiful, very beautiful. So the next thing, or the next stage of this class we would be talking about, is the drafting of the basic gown or the drafting of the skirt. So I think we'll start with the skirt. So I'll see you in the next video where I will explain certain tricks or certain things that has to do with the basic drafting of a skirt. See you. I am Diminach. Bye.
Hello DM tribe, thank you for watching the tutorial. I hope you found it educative, interesting, and it was definitely what you wanted to learn. Okay, so if you found this video educative, interesting, or informative, please give us a thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, and turn on your notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my sewing tutorials, sewing lessons, sewing videos whenever I post them. Okay, remember, every stitch counts. Keep creating, keep sewing. It's Diminach signing out. Bye.